Oh, I love France. Yeah, France. The French were always very good to Oasis. I think we were always quite relatively successful in France. It's just a shame that any time there was bad vibes, it always happened in Paris for some reason. I don't know why that is, but no, I love France. I love coming here on vacation. My wife, she fucking loves France. Jesus, she can't get enough of it. And it's a great place. A great place. Came to Japan last year, and it was so brief the stop because we only did a festival. So I'm so glad to be back again to do a bigger show with new songs and to be in Japan for more than 1 or 2 days. So it's always one of the highlights of a world tour. It's coming to Japan. We had a great day yesterday. I bought this yesterday. I always buy nice things in Japan. And so it's already been a great success. Even if the gig now tonight is dreadful, I bought a really nice top. And we had some really nice food last night. And I got a birthday cake. So I mean, it's already been a huge roaring success, this tour. One of the best ones we've ever been on, and it's not even started yet. So if you're coming to see us, have a great time. Buy some merchandise. I first came to Argentina in 1988. 1988, yeah. And,
1988.
I loved it instantly the first time I ever came, and I think British people have some kind of connection with Argentina because there's Argentina icons are always played in the football league and stuff like that, and it's a great place. I love it. It's one of the places I look forward to when I get a little tour sheet and we look down at Argentina. Yes. My memories of Buenos Aires are only good things. We always did great gigs, and we always met great people, and always had great nights out. So every time you go there, it's kind of you kind of look forward to it because you know you're going to have a good time.
You know why we like your love with Buenos Aires? Because the big artists like you, they say, I love Buenos Aires, but they go to Mexico and they say, I love Mexico, I love Chile, I love Colombia, and you like them also. But you always talk about Manchester, London, New York, and Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
We feel very proud.
It's a fantastic city with great people. And like I say, every time I come here, I'm always on the phone to my wife saying, fucking hell, you have to come to Buenos Aires.
Much downtime during the day? I mean, you're in Byron for the Blues and Roots. Did you hit the beach or anything, or are you sort of a sleeper during the day?
Well, I mean, I've been coming to Australia for 20 odd years now, so I've seen all there is to see, quite frankly. And I can inform you that the harbour is still in Sydney. It's still there. The bridge is still there. We come for the weather anyway. But I genuinely have no recollection of being in this country at all. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know where I've been or what I did. If I offended anybody when I was here last time, you probably deserved it. No, I apologise. But it's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's nice to have you there.
But is it important to you, the Irish thing, or do you see it as just an accident of birth?
Well, I get asked that a lot, and it's not. It just is.
Yeah.
I don't attach any importance to it. I'm not a professional first-generation Irish person. There's plenty of them in London, you know. Well, there is. I mean, I'm sure you've met, you know.
Yeah, of course.
There's no English blood in me. You know what I mean? I don't have to prove that to anybody. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? And I don't set aside particular days for being Irish. Maybe St. Patrick's Day.
Maybe in March.
But that's it. My ancestors are from here. That's a fact. You know, there's drinking, and then there's Irish drinking. And what people might not realise is that the Irish have been blessed with 2 livers, and we don't get the fear. No. We do get a healthy bit of Catholic guilt from time to time, but we don't get the fear. And we could go at it pretty hard. Yeah.
Good for us.
Good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it bother you when people? Does your mother? Are you Gallagher? Like?
Well, it's Gallagher.
Yeah.
But as we were Mancunians, Mancunians always pronounce the hard G.
Hard G. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Gallagher. Yes, no, great. I mean, I like coming to Korea. It's great. It's only recently that I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's only recently that Korea has become a place on the map that we all come and play to, and it's an amazing thing, particularly when you go back to England and people ask you where you've been. You say you've been to South Korea, and people are kind of amazed and shocked. It's not the first place in the world you would think that rock and roll bands would come and play. So it's amazing to tell them what it's like. It's great.
Experience in South Korea with the crowd singing "Live Forever."
Unbelievable. I wasn't even playing it.
What's that? What is that experience like?
Well, again, it goes back to the thing about "Don't Look Back in Anger." You're in South Korea. It's as far removed from where you were brought up as is humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And you go there, and there's like an arena of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, mostly girls, mostly like teenage girls.
Teenage.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know what the fuck I did to do that, but I've kind of been looking for subliminal records in messages in my records, thinking, I don't know what it is. And they'll sing "Live." I don't play it because I can't do the song justice. You know what I mean? In between the encore and the end of the set and the encore, they'll just sing it, all of it, word for word, for their own amusement. But it's an amazing thing. It's like if I thought, growing up, that these people on the other side of the world who don't even speak English, do you know what I mean, have taken my music and it means so much to them. I don't think I'd have even started writing songs. There'd be too much pressure on it, do you know what I mean? When I go to South Korea, though, it makes me quite sad because they're such innocent. It's a great place. And they've got such a fun-loving spirit. They're completely different from the Japanese, who are quite conservative. And these people are really fun-loving and they express themselves. And it's obviously a Korean thing, which must mean that the North Koreans, the people, are the same, and they're being oppressed by the fucking communists, and that makes me kind of sad when I go there. Do you know what I mean?
On your website, that you weren't quite happy with that. The fact that Brussels isn't the most pleasant city for you. Is that right?
Not when it rains. It's not a great deal to do when it rains, apart from eat waffles and cakes.
But if it would be sunny, would it be different?
I've never been to Brussels when it's been sunny.
Never.
No.
That's weird.
Isn't it?
Sometimes it is. And I thought...
Clearly, sometimes the sun does shine. Only not when I'm here.
Belgium would play England right now, because we have those all those teams playing for the European Cup selections thing. Would Belgium win from...
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. It would be close, but if Belgium were playing England in a competitive match tomorrow, Belgium's first 11 against England, Belgium should win that game 2-0.
Yeah. So that there's some respect from you to Belgium.
Of course, of course they've got. Listen to me, they've got some great players.
Yeah.
England are appalling.
Yeah, and except from football, because I remember that yesterday it was exactly 15 years ago that you played AB for the first time. AB, that's the Ancien Belgique, the place where you also played on Sunday.
Well, that's the other thing. Every time I come to Brussels, I play the same venue and stay in the same hotel.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not seeing... I just see the same thing all the time. Maybe I'm not seeing the real Brussels. I need a tour guide, maybe. Well, Italy...
That's Milano. Maybe.
Italy makes no sense in the rain.
No.
It's like when you go to Milan and Rome in the rain, you're just like...
That's a good statement.
Yeah.
Ha detto l'Italia non ha senso con la pioggia.
No, infatti, ma anche in Italia piove, possiamo dirglielo.
We have rain, sometimes we have rain.
Sì, poche volte.
Sì. I have to say that lately we have not that much, and it's not a good thing.
No, we were coming in last night and Andrea said, no rain for 3 months except for today. And I'm like,
2 mesi.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome, by the way.
È un problema.
before once with Oasis in 2008 or 9 or 5 or 6, whenever it played. 8, okay. I remember it being great. I think we played in this. Did we play in the same place? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mexico itself as a country, I've been to many, many times on vacation as well as working. And the people are great. And I've had great times here, and I'm sure that this trip will be one of those other great times, I think.
Basically speaking, what has Mexico given you?
Wow. Fuck. I'm trying to think. I do have some Mexican music, but I can't remember it now. See, Mexicans like to play the guitar, and I like to play the guitar, so I guess there's that. I couldn't think of anything specifically off the top of my head. There is some though. I've got a bit of Mexican music somewhere. The honest answer is I can't remember. I don't know.
Oasis and High Flying Birds, like Scotland have really taken you to heart. Like it's made you one of our own. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Everybody knows we were signed here, and our first early gigs here were amazing. And when we first started, we were all Celts. We're all from Irish background and that. And my wife says it's because I married her, because she's from Edinburgh. They kind of ramped up a little bit. I don't know. Mancunians and Glaswegians and or Scottish people, they're not that different. The big cities of the north are all generally inhabited by the same people. There's the football thing as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good.
These fucking Scottish are these fuckers. If they found out Hitler was fucking Scottish, they'd go, "Ah, wee man was just a wee bit misunderstood, so he was, eh?
He likes a drink.
Isn't he fucking Adolf, man?"
Is there a place where you haven't played yet and you'd love to?
I'd love to go to India. And I'd love to go to China. I think I've been everywhere else. So India would be great.
And China as well. I think they are completely crazy as a public.
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure I'm allowed into China, though.
Oh.
Because I did a gig with the Beastie Boys once in New York in 1997 for the monks in Tibet. I think the Chinese government banned everybody that was on that bill.
Some critics would argue Oasis didn't explore to America as well as some of the other great British bands that come from these shores.
Not that I've got to justify it, but we did sell out the Hollywood Bowl and Madison Square Gardens regularly, and I've got gold discs and, I've got platinum discs. I've got, I've got the house to prove it, Sonny Jim. You don't get that from selling records in Dagenham, let me tell you. The Americans are extremely professional corporate people. And we kind of treated that attitude with a bit of contempt. 4 tours in a row were either never started or never finished. We didn't have a front man like Bono or Chris Martin. We had a different kind of front man. It was like Johnny Rotten, do you know what I mean? And but there you go. But I don't think anybody in Oasis would look back on it with any regret. I remember once doing that. It was the only time I've ever been on the cover of Rolling Stone. And they'd set aside 8 hours for a photo shoot. 8 hours for a photo shoot. I think we stayed for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And then we left. We haven't got time for that. Minibar was open, wasn't it?
Do you like the States? Do you like being here? Would you ever...
I've grown to love it, I've got to say. When I came at the back end of the 80s when I was the roadie in the early 90s when I was in Oasis, we'd get off the plane at JFK and it'd be all great, and then you kind of work your way across America. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And
it's big.
But I found that the older that I've got, the more you kind of step back and just think, particularly if you're driving through the desert or you see these amazing sunsets and clouds and all that kind of thing. I've grown to love it. I've got to say, when I look forward to the American leg of the tour. It's a different crowd, and it's great. A really appreciative crowd, and I do like it.
Are you still into the NFL? I haven't met many Brits that are into that variety of
Well,
football.
I do like it. Once I'd worked out the rules, I just loved watching it because it looked fantastic, and all the players looked like space age and all that. But I didn't know how it worked. And then once I'd worked out that hang on a minute, there's 3 goals to get the ball 10 yards, and if you don't do that on the 4th one, you've got to fucking launch it up the pitch. I was like, hang on a minute, okay, all right, I get this now. And if I'm ever touring America during the football season, there's nothing better than on a Sunday kind of lying in a nondescript hotel room in fucking Buffalo, hungover, watching 3 games of American football while eating fucking mashed potatoes and for breakfast. There's nothing better than that.
Did you see David Cameron in the States the other week launching a kind of rebranding exercise? It did have shades of Cool Britannia. Can that kind of stuff ever work in your view and from your experience?
There are all those terms like putting the great back into Britain and let's get Britain working and all that. They're just vague one-liners to appease the people on the news channels. They don't mean anything, do you know what I mean? They don't mean anything. It all boils down to basic human values in the end, and if you don't give people work and if you don't educate them, society crumbles. That's the end. That's it. You can do as much for businesses and small businesses and loophole tax and this, that and the other. It really all comes down to basic human needs, work and education. And if you've got that, people have respect for themselves and respect for each other. If there's only one thing worse than a fool who voted for Brexit, that's the rise of trying to get the vote overturned. It's like you take part in a democratic process. If you don't like the outcome, go to North Korea. If I sat the day of Brexit and thought, I was going to the voting station, who would vote to leave Europe? It's just a bit of nonsensical idea. And you wake up the next day and just think, But the thing that's taken place after that is frankly a disgrace. It's a disgrace when you see people trying to get that vote overturned.
Britpop. We're not Britpop. We're universal rock. That's what we are. We're not Britpop. The media can take the Britpop and stick it as far up the back entry of the country house as they can take it. We're a universal rock band. We're not Britpop.
Are you talking to any of those?
Because we're Irish for a start.